Pedagogy and practice habits. Tubists are no different than any other instrumentalist when it comes to the need for students to be challenged technically and inspired musically. This is often difficult to do in the ensemble setting as melodic lines gravitate towards other instruments. I strongly encourage teachers to provide supplemental materials to engage the tubist and, of course, program repertoire that allows for all students to be actively involved. Private lessons are the most productive way to help students get the specific challenges they need. Qualified private lesson teachers are available in most areas and are usually easy to find by networking with other music educators and nearby college programs. I do have a concern with students being able to afford lessons and providing equal access across all economic backgrounds. Lessons from established teachers can be very expensive and are simply cost prohibitive for many. University students offer a great resource for a more affordable cost and might be the solution for some students. Still, many will need to find other options and may be relying solely on schools' music teachers for direction. Growing up, I lived in a rural area with limited access and didn't have private lessons until my senior year in high school. My band director did create a culture of peer mentorship and encouraged summer camps by providing access to some scholarship money. I encourage you to be creative in helping students find outside resources to supplement school music experiences. I certainly want to provide as many resources as possible to help, and that is why I've started this video series. I am happy to provide as many resources as I can to help students achieve success. So please let me know if there are things that are missing from my series. One of the strongest tools I have seen for helping students to feel musically engaged while challenging their technique is the use of solos and chamber music. Most states have solo and ensemble festivals and competitions. There are also competitions sponsored by the International Tuba Euphonium Association, instrument manufacturers, youth orchestras, and private organizations. Competition is not the best thing for all students, but for many this can be a great motivator. Non-competitive opportunities are everywhere. Students can play in school-organized events, church functions, family gatherings, and on social media. Just don't pay attention to the number of subscribers or likes. I especially like the use of chamber music in developing students, and to this day, I feel the most musically engaged when sitting either in a brass quintet or a tuba euphonium quartet. These groups do require a little more organizational oversight, but can be exceptionally rewarding. In chamber music, I feel that I must use the widest spectrum of my skills. In comparison to large ensemble playing, I am challenged by the expressive quality of melodic lines, technical facility of faster moving passages, expanded range requirements, and a more detailed approach to balance, blend, and intonation. Many teachers use solo repertoire as a focus of their tuba player's developmental plan. They systematically work through solos by picking repertoire that advances the skills that need development. I personally use etudes, exercises, and scale patterns as the focus and supplement this material with solos as an application exercise. I feel strongly that this approach creates the most complete tuba players whose musicianship is based on a solid foundation of fundamental skills. Solos are then an easier learning process and performances are more comfortable and enjoyable. I do see value in approaching solos that are slightly more difficult than the student's current ability. I have developed a pretty elaborate curriculum for my college students that is designed around the balance of technically challenging pieces and repertoire that promotes a deeper understanding, but is not physically demanding. I cannot stress enough that every student needs a personalized plan. Every student develops differently, and every student has strengths and weaknesses like no one else. As I write this, we are entering our 4th week of distance learning for our tuba techniques class due to the coronavirus. We usually go through a set of 4 playing exams of repertoire that presents a logical progression of skills. In this video, I will describe that progression through the first 3 and play some of the repertoire. The pieces I have chosen isolate specific ideas that I hope challenge future music educators to consider how they approach solo repertoire with their students. I will present practice habits to efficiently move past the performance obstacles and perform a portion of these pieces. Modeling is a powerful tool and it is my hope that music educators develop a confidence in playing tuba for their youngest students. All of the examples are taken from the book Classic Festival Solos for Tuba, available from Warner Brothers publication. Our first solo is entitled Aurora by Acton Osling. I find this piece to be a pretty strong confidence builder for the beginning tubist. A common problem for many tubists is found in simply producing notes below the staff. Ensemble repertoire and unison methods often start the tubist too low for quick success. The range of this piece is from an F just below the staff to a C, a perfect fifth higher. This limited range falls into the register that I have found is most approachable for beginners. As you would expect, the key and time signatures are also where most pieces begin for our instrument, B flat major and in 4/4. There are a few limited slurs, but most notes are articulated, helping to reinforce the need to properly tongue notes. Overall, though, this piece is about producing clear and consistent sounds. I encourage the reinforcement of proper breathing with some simple exercises that focus on the sound of the breath. This piece starts with a pickup note on beat 4, and a little trick that I find effective with beginners is this method of counting off. An O syllable gets us a great breath, and students are encouraged to subdivide with a 2-syllable word like ready. Connect the breath to time and begin by thinking 1, ready. Inquisitive students will want to buzz this piece to purify tone, and I would encourage buzzing down from B flat to the F that starts the piece. Also, create siren sounds to get the air moving, and strong production will follow. Aurora. The second piece we play in tuba techniques is Minuet by John Eccles. I choose this piece to extend range. The tubist must quickly get comfortable with starting lines on low B flat. As I said before, a lot of the unison methods start the tuba in the lower register, since it is often easiest for beginning trumpet players to start in their lower register. This piece begins on a low B flat, and students are forced to conquer that challenge. Repetition is important, and isolating that note is key. Some students will need to work down to this note, and you should establish warm-up routines that expand downward from notes where the student is successful. My warm-up routine is available on my website, and both the regular and the simplified version have this exercise made famous by Emery Remington. After producing these notes, work on the initial attack of the note by isolating and repeating. tongue is important to clarify the beginning of the note and should not be ignored. Some students will have better luck producing the note without the tongue, and this can be a step in the process, but make sure that students understand that true success is determined by the ability to start the notes with the tongue. The minuet has various articulations throughout, so I find it especially a good piece to focus on articulation and note length. As a continuation, students are also challenged by the exchange from low B flat to C. I assigned Dance of the Slovaks by Bela Bartok, arranged here by Christian Dischinger, to work this problem. I also think it is good to expand the student's tonal understanding. This piece is in Dorian mode and will challenge students to listen to more complex melodic motion as cadences happen with whole step resolutions. The rhythm is somewhat tricky, including syncopation and counting across rests. Articulation variations exist with the inclusion of tenuto, staccato, and accented notes. The dynamic is forte for the portion I will play, but the piece also includes some passages at the piano level while playing this same melodic material. As students develop a stronger command of the technique of the instrument, you will want to explore pieces that are more complete in what they require. In another video, I will explore how to approach longer and more complex works as we approach the final playing exam of the techniques course. While I have outlined the technical aspects of these first three pieces, I cannot stress enough that we work on technique so that we might enable musicianship. Always remind students that music is central to expression of oneself and connection with those that might listen.